5 million inhabitants, 28 member states. 40% of the internal trade is carried by ships, 75% of external trade. So no nation, no block of nations that has these figures cannot become a maritime power. It is impossible. In the good sense, of course, in the sense of trade and cohesion. And what we want to achieve is to interconnect hinterland. So what is there at stake for us? We have the trans-European networks, if they are there. They are very big if you look at Europe, but put them in this perspective. They are relatively smaller and are calling for brotherhood. So if the TIP, I should not say if, when the TTIP will come, I think that we have these 505 million people will become 900 million people. And it is our job to get you to work, to guarantee that we can cope with that, and that European transportation system is fit to accommodate the large changes that we will require. Of course, it is not only this part that is important, it's the access to Panama Canal and all the other ones, like the map is still virgin here, so what will be the key connections in the north of Africa? Maghreb, Mashrek, Middle East, Black Sea. What about connections with our friendly partner in the east? All of these will influence the trans-European network, and all of these, in all of these, shipping will play a major part. Last but not least, the vision of the future, it's this. Shall we go east? Shall we go west? But certainly we'll go through the Northern Sea route for a part of the things. We do have whoever wants to partner. And for the moment, the ones that really want to partner seem to be Canada. So we'll go along with them. So soon, I think, we'll be evolving into that area. Okay, so this is what Motorways of the Sea is all about. If you want to see it cast in iron, it's Article 21. It's the article that gives power to Brian. Okay? So maritime dimension of the trans-European network. That's what we are, and that's what we have to create. I'm just having you this as a punishment. I mean, you have pestered me for 3 years now, so now it's revenge time. It's the Empire Strikes Back. So this is what we need to do. These are our founding father laws. Why the benefits, where you have been playing, as you see, ICT platforms and information systems, including traffic management and electronic reporting systems. Someone needs to think well ahead before these things are cast in the regulation. So start thinking now and start helping us to write the next step of the regulations. We have to think ahead. If you wouldn't have thought about this with your help in 2009, 2010, 2011, we would never have convinced Brian Simpson, at the time chairman of the Transportation Committee in the European Parliament, to back us up, to support us, and to give us the Motorways of the Sea that we now have. So thinking ahead is fundamental. Yes, it's nice to win the Olympics. You did it, right? And what about in 4 years' time? The next Olympics. Those are the ones that matter now. We will start, that's the important part about the future. We will have to start drawing the detailed implementation plan for the Motorways of the Sea. That's going to be defined, and that will be presented in June 2016 at the European Parliament and to the Member States by Brian Simpson. That will be the report. And this will be the key part of our work until June. So in June, you may expect 2 presentations, one in the European Parliament, which will be the high-level one, plus the Member States. The second one in the 10T days in 2016 in Rotterdam. We want to seize this opportunity, having the maritime countries, the traditional maritime countries, presenting Motorways of the Sea, and not just, the other modes of transport that Brian mentioned. This is very important. We hope that we will do the same thing in Malta in 2017. And so any activity that can promote Motorways of the Sea, I think we should always back it up, and we'll have a new, some of them there. So get ready. We will start in January, but from February onwards, every month we will have a Motorways of the Sea forum in Brussels. Each one of them addressed to a given issue within Motorways of the Sea, and that will help building up the blocks for the report, the detailed implementation plan that we'll get. If we get it, then we'll have a strategic development plan until 2020 and beyond. We will be looking beyond 2020, but we will be very lucky if it will last until 2020. Well, in any case, we'll revise it over and over. So this is a challenge. Be ready to travel. Don't be afraid of red alerts. I mean, red alerts in Belgium, they are a little bit watered down because it's raining all the time. So a red alert basically is something crimson. Well, not to be worried. Okay, these are the other articles. Never mind. So I'll just focus in there. This is the thing. This is the Trans-European Transport Network. This is what counts. This is what probably planners will use to plan their investment, the location of their factories, everything. I'm sorry to say, but if you are not there, you're nowhere. And if you are nowhere, you better start thinking, how can you connect there? Okay, and the way that you can use to get connected are the Motorways of the Sea. Sophia later on will give you a detailed impression on the goal, because not all things in life are goodies. Goodies are left for me and for Brian. She will do the hard thing, which is to tell you, well, you have to do this, and this if you want to get your hands in the money, right? So I'll just leave it like this. This is the nice part of it. This is the picture that you should get in your mind, is how can we do the best out of this? And this is the scene where we will develop the environmental issues. I just have to remind you that the only structured support ever for LNG, methanol, scrubbers, be it on retrofitting of ships, building of new ships, installation in ports, building up of barges, it's the Motorways of the Sea. There are a lot of discussion forums in Europe, which is all nice and well. I mean, we need to chat. I mean, of course, Facebook and Twitter are not enough. We have to chat. But the important thing is when it comes, when you need help, when you need resources, we are there. We'll be probably the only ones supporting the funding, together with the European Investment Bank, the funding of ports. It is happening in within the project over Calais, which is the Motorways of the Sea project, but where the most part of the development of the port of Calais, which is done in conjunction with this, it's supported by the European Investment Bank. So we are, for the first time, building up a very large wave that impacts on regional development, on local development, and on loans. It is there for the taking. We are supporting other things. We are supporting the building up of new ships to meet the sector requirements. And we are doing this with Sweden, and with Denmark, and with Finland, and with some of the other countries around. We are planning, and we are trying to find a way to lead investment banking to provide better interest rates and support this. The Netherlands, well, as always, very active when it comes to transport, is also one of the countries pushing on these, on the building up of ships. The first Anthony Vedder support that existed was ours again, from Motorways of the Sea. And last but not least, the South is moving, and is moving on a very reasoned and intelligent way. You may tell me, oh yes, but the South is not covered by the second. Well, it isn't. But if you need to change your fleet, if you are owning a strategic fleet that, for instance, operates on a archipelago state, and if you need to renew the fleet, I think you're not going to make an investment on normal conventional vessels. I would go for LNG. So it seems that we will be supporting in this area a large development of LNG, newly built LNG vessels connecting the islands and offering LNG refueling all over. So the development is there. Grants, access to loans, and of course the interesting part is that, for instance, if Greek ship owners, if we manage to pull this through, then they will get access to AAA loans, which is, let's say, in itself a very good starting point. So we hope that we can contribute to the development that Europe requires here. One small way of doing this are the 280 million euros that will be there available for the take. For those who succeed, it's a little bit like the Olympics. And we'll be judging it very firmly. You need to be comprehensive, you need to pull your act together. We are no longer in the beginnings, in the initial stages. So you need to come with something convincing, and you need to come with something that is bridging the gap. One of the key areas is what you're dealing with. We need to connect the sea to the corridors. We need to make sure that the little shop in the hinterland is connected to the little shop in the United States hinterland or in Asia. That is the job of maritime transport. And when landing the goods, it's the job of getting it through the hinterland, through exactly these logistic corridors. You are building the most important part of it. It's the one that is most flexible, that needs to talk to more diverse people. This is the part, how to connect the ships, the ports, how to aggregate the actors in the ports, in port community systems that are able to talk through the chain of transport to the ship. This is the challenge ahead. This is what needs to be done in the coming 4 years. And we are certainly counting on you for that. So, well, I'm watching you. So, all the best.